Hello viewers! Today we are going to be drawing a Celtic knot. Ta-da! That is what it looks like. That's what we're going to be drawing. I actually did this all the way across up there on my wall, so it actually can be done on pretty much anything. So, we're going to be drawing one. Make 4 consecutive lines like that. Those are okay. Line number 2, line number 3, and line number 4. Alright, erase the ends, because those ends are way too long, and we don't need that. It's way too long. There are 4 strings, 4 points, 4 strings, and 4 points. That is how you can tell that you've done this perfectly. Now, there are 4 strings here, so with every other string, you're going to connect them with a triangle. Innards to innards, outers to outers. On both of them. It's okay if you make a mistake, because you can erase and try again. Which I have a feeling I will likely make a mistake, because I always do. But, yes. So now, that is the basic outline for that. It's very important that this outline is made, otherwise that cannot be made unless you're really experienced with drawing this. This is for beginners. So, you want it to end up being, well, you're gonna want crisscrosses. Like a weave. This looks like a weave. When you're weaving with your fingers or whatever, that's what you're doing. There's an over, under process. See, the string here is over the other string and under the other, then over this one again. It really depends on which way you decide to erase, and you'll want to find those lines so that you can definitely tell, as it wouldn't be good if you couldn't tell. So you pretty much do that with every one of these, except you want it to be one continuous line is technically the definition of a Celtic knot, but it's technically 2 Celtic knots mixed together into each other, weaved together. That's why this is a big weave. So, because this was previously gone over a string, this is an under. And this one is over, and this one is under. It alternates. I'm getting confused by doing that. Okay, alright, so that was an over, under, over. Yes, this gets extremely confusing. I know. I do this a lot. I even got confused up there. I managed to switch it to 4 to 3. I have no idea how I ended it. It was weird. But, whatever. Here, now let's see. This is under, over, under. As long as you keep going down in the same pattern on the string, then it'll end up being in the correct direction. So, over, under, over. Over, under, over. Yes. Alright, so, next up is up here. The ends are a little complicated, but that's okay. Going up the string, that goes under, over, that means next up is under. Wait, under is that way. Weaving with pencil is rather difficult. It's like a braid almost, in my opinion. And follow it around. Yep, that does it. And that does it. Perfect. And do that to the other side. That's over, which means this way is the next way to do it. And that there is the all weave together bit. The last step is to make it curvy, because that is super pointy and that is super curvy. Pointy, curvy, pointy, curvy. Yeah, you get the point. Now, what you'll want to do is erase the corners of these. I like mechanical pencils, but yes. Those are going together. You just draw a kind of half circle sort of thing over both of them. And voila, there's an end. And I like doing the ends first because that way it gets less confusing. The whole thing's generally a confusing process. This makes it less confusing, and the less confusing something is, the better. Yeah, I totally just curved over without erasing first. That's okay though, because I can erase afterwards. So that is the ends. Now, there's 4 parts left on each side that needs to be curvy. Curvature is pretty, but that's just generally erasing the points and making oval shapes. I haven't figured out how to do this without pointing them first, but that's probably because points are easier to draw than curves, and doing that last is generally useful. It's always good to experiment. Okay, that was a little too pointy. These are supposed to be elegant and pretty and wonderful. And I figured out how to do this by myself. I didn't actually have anyone show me how, I just kind of looked at a picture of one and figured it out. And voila, here's a point to curve. And another point to curve. Another point to curve. totally are getting this right. Here, curving the points. It doesn't matter how hard you press against paper, because voila, you have a curvy Celtic knot. And that looks neat. Why doesn't this? Because that was done in pencil. No worries, you don't gotta start over in order to make it look like that. You just, because see there's a little erase marks behind it. Those generally aren't very noticeable if you're putting this into an actual picture. Drawing it by itself, well, generally you have color behind it or something. Doing this on the computer, well, of course you can get rid of those. But, moving on, just follow the lines with pen, darkening it, and that way it looks elegant and pretty. But yeah, just tracing them over again with a pen generally will make it look much better. Because it looks less sloppy for some reason. Looks more formal and pronounced. Although you can't erase pen, so that's why you don't initially do it with pen. And even then, if your vision's off a little bit, then it's going to be a little strange looking. And then you just pretty much go over it again with an eraser, erasing those extra lines, and that's when you can notice when you didn't actually finish tracing certain lines and they actually were drawn so dark that they actually looked like they were colored. And there you have it, people. It's a Celtic knot, and because I just added another line, I think I want to do this again. And voila! A Celtic knot. It's the same thing as that, but bigger. Because it's easier to draw bigger. But here you go. That is how to draw a Celtic knot. You're welcome. From me, Valentine Ackerson. Blessed be.